I still remember the moment everything snapped literally and inside me. My private property sign didn't just get knocked over one morning. It got split clean in half under the wheels of a shiny white HOA-issued SUV. And the woman driving it. She didn't brake, didn't apologize, didn't even pretend to care. She just waved through her tinted window like she was royalty, and I was some peasant standing in the wrong kingdom. That's the day I realized Claire Phillips wasn't just cutting across my land, she was coming for it. People think living on land gives you peace. Truth is, it gives you attachment. Every inch becomes part of you. That dirt road from the highway to my barn, I carved it myself over 15 years, filling ruts after storms, smoothing washouts at sunrise, keeping it strong enough for feed trucks, trailers, and whatever life demanded. Not one soul touched it for over a decade. Then the Willow Creek Estates HOA moved in across the creek, bringing with it a suburban queen named Claire, armed with a clipboard and more confidence than common sense. At first it was just tire tracks. Then it became a daily ritual. 7:30 a.m. on the dot, her SUV barreling across my road like she was late to a meeting with God. Some days she tossed a fake friendly wave. Most days she didn't even look at me. I'd stand there holding a bucket of feed, staring in disbelief like a raccoon caught stealing the trash in broad daylight. So I did the polite thing. I put up a sign, big letters, clear message. Next morning, the sign was gone. I found it snapped in half behind my hay bales like she was collecting trophies. That's when I knew it wasn't ignorance. It was entitlement. A week later, Claire and her HOA disciples showed up at the mouth of my road with iced lattes and a banner like they were hosting a bake sale. "Morning, Brandon," she said, voice so sugary it could rot wood. "We're voting to make your road a shared community easement. It'll be wonderful for neighborhood harmony." I actually laughed. I thought she was joking, but she had clipboards, bullet points, and signatures from people who'd never set foot on my land. That laugh died quick. That night I got a letter, Comic Sans laminated smiley face next to her signature. It basically said, "Your road is ours now. Any resistance will be punished." Punished. Not reviewed, not discussed, punished. That's when the part of me that believed in being nice quietly passed away. I parked my truck across the road the next morning and waited. She rolled down her window halfway like she was lowering it for a troublesome peasant. "This isn't public land," I told her. "It's mine. Stop using it." She tilted her head, all fake concern. "Oh, come now. We're neighbors. What's a little dirt between friends?" That line burned into me like a brand. After that, HOA patrol cars crawled up and down my fence line. Drones hovered too close. Joggers with GoPros accidentally filmed my property. That's when dread kicked in, the kind of dread that whispers, what if they actually can take this from you? What if some old paperwork gives them power? One night I sat on my porch, staring at the dirt road, wondering if I was fighting a losing battle. Maybe I should just let it go. Maybe it wasn't worth a war. For the first time in my life I felt small on my own land, powerless, like my voice didn't matter against a board of strangers who held meetings about community synergy and printed rules in pastel fonts. But then I remembered something my grandfather used to say. "Son, land doesn't fight for you. You fight for the land." And that's when I picked up the phone. "Derek," I said, "you ever feel like teaching karma how to dig?" He didn't even hesitate. "Tell me when and how deep." By dawn we were walking the length of my road, studying slopes like two artists planning a masterpiece. We picked the perfect spot, a blind bend where Claire always sped up. "How deep you want it?" Derek asked. "Deep enough for reflection," I said. He cracked up. "Philosophical trench. I like it." By sunset we had a 4-foot-deep trench covered with old plywood, packed dirt, grass, and loose twigs. Flawless camouflage. We hid 2 trail cameras, then cracked open beers behind a stack of hay bales, staring at our handiwork like 2 proud idiots. Next morning was Friday, Claire's yoga day. She never missed yoga. We set up lawn chairs, grabbed donuts, and waited. At 7:31 we heard it. The roar of tires, the thump of bass, the unmistakable sound of someone yelling. Affirmations at a podcast host about manifesting boundaries. Through the heat waves, her SUV appeared like a white chariot of arrogance. She hit the curve at full speed. The plywood creaked. Then crack. Her SUV nosedived so hard into that trench, it looked like it was trying to burrow underground for safety. Airbags exploded. Her iced latte launched like a projectile. Derek slapped his knee and nearly fell out of his chair. Claire stumbled out covered in dust, screaming into her phone. Sabotage. I could have died. This is a criminal trap. 15 minutes later, Sheriff Cole pulled up chewing gum like he'd seen this circus one too many times. "Morning, ma'am," he said. "Everything all right?" "This man dug a death trap," she shrieked. Cole stared at the trench, then at my map, then back at her. "Ma'am, this is his land, and you don't have legal access." The look on her face. Priceless. Like she'd just been told the earth was round and she'd been walking sideways. Tow trucks arrived, but her SUV wouldn't budge. Crane trucks arrived and the chain snapped in the mud. By sunset, the SUV still sat like a fossil half buried in karma. I thought maybe, just maybe, she'd learned something. I was wrong. Next morning, I found a letter in the mailbox, environmental violation notice. Unauthorized trench poses safety hazard. Fined $100 a day. Section 4.2 of county law, she claimed. Except Section 4.2 is literally about recycling bins. A few hours later, her cousin Doug showed up, a man with the confidence of a lawyer and the skill set of a confused intern. "I'm legal counsel," he said, handing me cease and desist papers. "You got a law degree?" I asked. "Working on it. Night classes." I handed the papers back. "Tell Claire to hire someone who's passed the bar, not the smoothie bar." But the harassment got in my head. I lay awake wondering, what if they dig up some ancient easement? What if my road isn't as airtight as I thought? What if I lose everything because of one stupid clause written 50 years ago? That fear nearly broke me. I actually sat at the table one night thinking, maybe I should give in. Maybe it's easier. Then something inside me snapped back. If Claire wanted to fight with paperwork, I'd beat her with the truth. Next morning, I drove to the county clerk's office, dug through dusty archives for hours. Then I found it. A notarized document from 1976. An easement contract requiring the developers of Willow Creek Estates to build their own access road and forbidding them from using mine. The HOA had been trespassing illegally from day one. I laminated it. Of course I did. Then I hired a real attorney, Mara Pritchard, a woman whose stare could straighten crooked lumber. "We'll sue for harassment, trespassing, and damages," she said. "They dug this hole, now let them fall in." 2 days later, a county deputy served Claire the papers while she was trimming her bushes. Her scream echoed across the subdivision like an angry wild turkey. Then came the courtroom. The place was packed. HOA drama is free entertainment, apparently. Claire walked in wearing a beige power suit. Doug carried so many folders he looked like he was moving out of a library. The judge raised an eyebrow. "Miss Phillips, you're countersuing for emotional distress, vehicular damage, and loss of social standing." "Yes," she announced proudly. "He set a trap." "Ma'am, the judge said this isn't Home Alone." Mara stood calm as a lake. "Your Honor, we submit a notarized easement contract proving the HOA has zero legal claim to the road." The courtroom leaned forward. Claire's face drained of color. Then Mara played the trail cam footage of Claire crashing into the trench. People laughed. Doug objected. The judge didn't even look up, overruled. It's his land. When Claire took the stand, she accused me of psychological warfare via landscaping, wiretapping her SUV, conspiring with the sheriff, and my favorite, malicious excavation. By the end of her rant, even the bailiff was biting his lip. Finally, the judge closed the file. "I've heard enough." He ruled in my favor. HOA guilty of harassment, trespassing, property damage. Claire banned from holding HOA office for 10 years. Road access permanently denied. Claire stood frozen, eyes wide, then shouted, "This is corruption!" As she stormed out, she tripped over her giant purse and nearly ate the floor. That's where my story ends. Right at the moment, her power evaporated, and the land I'd protected finally stood free again. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Some people dig their own downfall. Sometimes you just provide the shovel.